The spire on top of the Burj Khalifa may seem quite small, neither the public is allowed to go there, nor are the floors present in it highly occupied. However, in the Burj Khalifa, it holds so much importance that if it's not there, the structural integrity of the entire building could be at risk. Creating it was a necessity for the engineering team, and completing this task by any means was crucial. This spire of Burj Khalifa is no less than a skyscraper in itself, as tall as this spire alone. There is no such tall skyscraper in more than half of the world's countries, made of 4,000 tons of steel. This 244-meter high spire with its top antenna alone weighs 350 tons. If the entire spire were removed, the Burj Khalifa's height would be reduced by 30% to just 585 meters. This is the same height where the last public accessible 154th floor is located. From above it, the spire begins, which ends at the tip of the Burj Khalifa. Inside it, floors from 155 to 163 have been built, but you'll be amazed to know that these floors are not inhabitable at all, because during strong winds, the entire spire sways up to 6 feet. Yes, it's not a fault of it, rather, the swaying of the spire is its advanced feature. Dubai's location is such that on one side, there's the Arabian Gulf, and on the other side, there's the Gulf of Oman. Fast sea winds are Dubai's destiny, and at the height of the Burj Khalifa's top, the gusts of fast winds can reach speeds of up to 240 km per hour quite easily. The pressure of these winds is absorbed by this spire. It moves up to 6 feet and keeps the 154 floors below it safe. American structural engineer William Baker, for the first time, created a design for the Burj Khalifa that does not block the winds, but literally confuses them. When fast winds collide with the structure, they generate energy, and this energy needs to be extracted from somewhere. The 154 floors of the Burj Khalifa are connected with a main buttressed core. If this energy escapes into the main core, cracks may also occur in the concrete. That is why the spire is not connected to the buttressed core. Instead, it is constructed using a steel structure. As you know, steel is a flexible metal. The energy generated by the wind is released into the steel structure of the spire, which is why the top of the Burj Khalifa starts to sway. Engineers have designed it in such a way that it can sway only up to 6 feet. This spire not only gives this singular sacrifice for Burj Khalifa, but the device on the spire also protects the entire Dubai from dangerous lightning strikes. At the top of the world's tallest skyscraper, this device installed is a lightning arrestor. It contains a small sensor that detects active charges within the surrounding clouds, and the lightning arrestor generates an opposite charge, attracting the lightning towards itself. Then, through steel wire, the charge of millions of volts is safely conducted down into the ground, while saving the entire building, because this lightning arrestor on the spire is at the top compared to the rest of the buildings. For this reason, it protects not only the Burj Khalifa, but the entire Dubai from hundreds of millions of volts of current. So far, this lightning arrestor has successfully fulfilled its role perfectly 16 to 20 times. After each lightning strike, this small battery needs to be replaced inside it, requiring a trip to its top. As you know, Dubai has been hit by sandstorms and strong winds with speeds of up to 100 km per hour on the ground. Such strong winds are a huge problem for tall skyscrapers. Near New York City, in Midtown Manhattan, there is the Citigroup Center, which stands at just 279 meters tall. After its construction in 1978, a major engineering flaw was discovered in its design. An engineering student from Princeton University noticed that the Citigroup Center wouldn't be able to withstand the load of strong winds. 25% of the gusts could easily topple the Citigroup Center. When this information reached the building's designers, they immediately made some calculations and agreed with the engineering student's observations. It is said that, keeping this matter confidential, extra dampers were added to the building in the name of maintenance, and this was not disclosed for many years. When strong winds hit any building, rotors are created on the back side of the building, also known as vortices. These vortices are pockets of low air pressure that move the building sideways. Once the building begins to move even slightly, These vortices greatly magnify the movement. The most perfect example of this can be seen in the swing at a park, which perhaps all of you have swung on at some point. When you synchronize the movement of your legs with the swing's motion while swinging, the swing accelerates on its own. Because we are moving our legs with the frequency of the swing, this phenomenon is called resonance. In the case of the world's tallest building, the Burj Khalifa, structural engineer William Baker designed a configuration that naturally confuses the winds. If you observe closely, you'll notice that all the decks of the Burj Khalifa are not built at the same level as each other. Rather, they have been designed asymmetrically, meaning each deck is different from the others. As a result, when the wind collides with the Burj Khalifa, the rotors or vortices generated behind each floor are also different from one another, meaning their frequencies don't match the tower's frequency. This is the reason that the world's tallest building has been able to withstand strong winds by confusing them, and has remained structurally sound for the past 13 years. Whether the wind comes from the north or the south, the design of the Burj Khalifa confuses the air from all directions. Normally, before any construction project is started, its complete design is prepared first. But during the construction of the Burj Khalifa, no one knew how tall this tower would go. Initially, its proposed height was 530 meters. Because in 2003, when the construction of Burj Khalifa began, the construction of Taipei 101 was in its final phase. The height of Taipei 101 was set at 508 meters. That is why the Burj Khalifa was initially planned to be built up to 530 meters, but later, it was thought that anyone could easily break the world record of 530 meters, so during the construction of Burj Khalifa, they decided not to disclose the actual height of the tower until construction was complete. Rather, Emaar Properties kept the world in confusion until the very end. In 2003, it was reported that Burj Dubai, which was the first name of Burj Khalifa, Burj Khalifa will be 530 meters high. In 2004, it was announced that it would be built up to 570 meters. In 2005, 710 meters. In 2006, 800 meters, and then again in 2006, a height of 818 meters was mentioned, and finally, when the construction was completed, it was stopped at 828 meters. It was for this reason that other projects, higher than Taipei 101, proposed during the construction of the Burj Khalifa could never claim the title of world's tallest building. Due to the same unpredictable variations in the Burj Khalifa's height, Emaar Properties, the one who initially proposed the project, had to face financial problems. Because the budget they kept was getting depleted as its height increased, it got to the point that the construction of Burj Khalifa had to be stopped. Then Abu Dhabi's ruler, Sheikh Khalifa bin Zayed Al Nahyan, funded the project and revived it. That was the point when the name of the Burj Dubai was changed to Burj Khalifa. After Burj Khalifa, several projects were announced in the race to claim the title of the world's tallest building, and construction began on those projects as well. However, there is still no chance that this title will be taken away from Dubai. The construction of Saudi Arabia's Jeddah Tower has been stalled for the past several years. Kuwait has planned to build a 1-kilometer tall building named Burj Mubarak, but there has been no update after this planning. Even Nakheel Properties had launched a project in Dubai named Nakheel Tower, whose height was being reported to be more than 1,000 meters. In 2009, its construction also began, but the project was stopped the very next year. The total cost spent on the Burj Khalifa was around $1.5 billion. Today, 8,000 to 10,000 tourists visit the Burj Khalifa every day. If calculation is done based on the average entry fee, then in just 1 year, Burj Khalifa is earning more than $1 billion by selling entry tickets alone. The economic boom that came to Dubai due to this cannot be quantified. I hope you got some information from this video. Thanks for watching.